In the peaceful village of Yumon, there lived a wise and kind chief named Chief Chidiok. Everyone in the village loved him because he treated the villagers like family. But Chief Chidiok had a secret that made him very sad. Many years ago, his only child, a baby boy, had been taken from him during a terrible storm when his boat capsized on the river. The baby had been in the care of a servant, and though the chief searched everywhere, the boy was never found. Chief Chidiok often walked to the river, staring at the rushing water, wondering if his son might still be alive somewhere. He never gave up hope. Every year, on the child's birthday, he would light a small lantern and send it floating down the river, praying that the spirits would guide his lost heir back to him. One sunny afternoon, a boy named Emeka arrived in Yumon. He was about 19 years old, with bright eyes and a cheerful smile. Emeka had no family and had been traveling from village to village, offering to do small jobs in exchange for food. When he reached Yumon, he stopped to rest under a big mango tree in the village square. Some of the village children gathered around him, curious. "Who are you, and where are you from?" asked Ada, one of the girls. "I am Emeka," the boy replied. "I don't have a home. I go where my feet take me." "You don't have a family?" asked Namdi, another child, his eyes wide with surprise. Emeka shook his head. "I don't know my family. I've been on my own for as long as I can remember." The children felt sorry for Emeka and decided to help him. They took him to Mama Ifeoma, the village cook, who gave him a plate of steaming jollof rice. As Emeka ate, Chief Chidiok happened to walk by. He noticed the boy and felt a strange pull in his heart. Something about the boy's eyes seemed familiar. "Who is this boy?" Chief Chidiok asked Mama Ifeoma. "He says his name is Emeka," she replied. "He doesn't have a family and has been traveling alone." The chief knelt down to look closely at Emeka. "How old are you, my son?" he asked gently. "I think I am 19, Emeka said. "But I'm not sure. I don't know the exact date I was born." Chief Chidiok's heart ached as he listened to the boy's story. He couldn't help but wonder, could this boy be his lost heir? But he didn't want to frighten the boy, so he simply said, "You must stay in our village for a while. We will take care of you." Emeka smiled gratefully. "Thank you, Chief," he said. Over the next few weeks, Emeka settled into life in Yumon. He helped the villagers with their chores and quickly became loved by everyone. But strange things began to happen. One day, while helping an elder carry water from the river, Emeka slipped and fell. When he hit the ground, a small bracelet slipped out of his pocket. The elder picked it up and gasped. "This bracelet," she exclaimed. "Where did you get it?" Emeka looked confused. "I've had it for as long as I can remember. I don't know where it came from." The elder hurried to show the bracelet to Chief Chidiok. The chief's hands trembled as he held it. It was a unique bracelet made of gold and coral beads, one that had belonged to his son as a baby. Chief Chidiok called Emeka to his hut. "Emeka," he said, his voice shaking, "do you remember anything about your family? Anything at all?" Emeka shook his head. "I only remember being found by an old woman when I was little. She said she found me near a river. She raised me for a few years before she passed away. After that, I've been on my own." Chief Chidiok's heart pounded. Could it be true? Could this boy really be his son? But before the chief could say more, the peaceful evening was interrupted by loud shouting. A group of strangers had arrived in the village, claiming to be searching for something or someone. The leader of the group, a tall man with a scar across his face, stepped forward. "We are looking for a boy," he said. "A boy named Emeka." The villagers looked at each other nervously. "Why are you looking for him?" Chief Chidiok asked, stepping forward to protect the boy. "That's none of your concern," the man said. "Hand him over, or there will be trouble." "Emeka, who had been standing quietly behind the chief, felt a chill run down his spine. Who were these people? And the villagers stood firm behind Chief Chidiok. They didn't like the tone of the strangers, especially the man with the scar. Chief Chidiok raised his hand and said firmly, "You cannot come into our village and make demands. Tell us why you are looking for the boy." The scarred man sneered. "The boy belongs to us," he said. "We found him by the river years ago. He ran away, and now we've come to take him back." Emeka's heart sank. He didn't know these men, but their words made him feel uneasy. "That's not true," he shouted. "I've never seen you before." The man's eyes narrowed. "Quiet, boy. You'll come with us whether you like it or not." Chief Chidiok stepped in front of Emeka. "If this boy belongs to you, prove it. Show us something that ties him to your group." The scarred man hesitated for a moment, then smirked. "We don't need to prove anything. He is ours. Now step aside." He motioned for his men to grab Emeka. Before they could move, a loud voice boomed from the crowd. "No one will touch that boy." It was Namdi, one of the elders. The villagers, armed with farming tools and sticks, stood shoulder to shoulder with Chief Chidiok, ready to defend Emeka. The scarred man realized he was outnumbered. He gave a menacing glare and said, "This isn't over. We'll be back." Then, he and his men retreated into the forest. Chief Chidiok placed a protective hand on Emeka's shoulder. "You're safe for now," he said. "But we must find out the truth about who you are." That night, the chief gathered the elders in his hut. He showed them the bracelet and told them about Emeka's story. The elders agreed that the bracelet was too unique to be a coincidence. It had to belong to the chief's lost heir. "But how can we be sure?" asked Mama Ifioma. "We must ask the spirits for guidance." The next day, the chief, Emeka, and a group of elders traveled to the sacred shrine deep in the forest. The shrine was a quiet, peaceful place surrounded by ancient trees. Inside, the air felt cool and heavy, and the walls were covered with carvings of their ancestors. The village priestess, Mama Is, stood waiting for them. She was an old woman with kind eyes and a calm presence. "Why have you come, Chief Chidiok?" she asked. "We seek the truth," the chief replied. "I believe this boy may be my lost son, but we need the spirits to confirm it." Mama Is nodded and motioned for Emeka to step forward. "Come, child," she said. Emeka nervously approached the altar. Mama Is took the bracelet and placed it on the altar, lighting a small fire beside it. She began to chant in a soft, rhythmic voice, calling on the spirits of the ancestors to reveal the truth. Why were they after him?